Welcome to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network with your hostess, Jen Josie. Join like-minded real estate investors and accelerate your business towards greatness. You will hear step-by-step strategies for success, interviews with real estate rock stars, and we will dig deep into past projects where we bear it all, including the good, the bad, and some just plain ugly. So get excited. Here's the bestower of badassery herself, the real Jen Josie. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, and welcome back. I'm Jen Josie, creator of RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Whoop, whoop. On today's episode, we have a guest that will be sharing their badassery. But before we begin, here's today's badassery bestowment, my little badass gift to you. Today's topic is the power of swag. Investing in branded merchandise or swag can be a powerful tool for growing your real estate business. Swag serves as a tangible reminder of your badass business, creating a lasting impression on clients and prospects. Here are 4 reasons why you should become swagalicious. Number 1, brand visibility. Branding items like pens, notebooks, or tote bags keep your logo and business name in front of potential clients daily, increasing brand recognition and recall. Number 2, customer loyalty. Quality swag can enhance client relationships. When you give a thoughtful, useful item, it shows you value their business, fostering loyalty and repeat engagements. Number 3, networking and referrals. Swag can be an excellent icebreaker at events and networking opportunities. It's a conversation starter that can lead to new connections and business opportunities. Number 4, professionalism and trust. Consistent branding through swag conveys professionalism and attention to detail. It helps build trust, making clients more likely to choose your services over competitors. So, invest in some high-quality, practical items that reflect your brand's values and message. Thoughtful swag can turn recipients into brand ambassadors, spreading the word about your real estate business far and wide. Now, on to today's episode of the Real Estate Investor Growth Network podcast. We have with us David Richter. David is an active real estate investor who has been essential in closing over 850 deals over the last 10 years, which include wholesale, turnkey, brrrr, owner finance, rentals, lease options, and any other exit strategy you can think of. While growing and building a real estate investment business from 5 deals to over 25 deals a month, he realized that as much money was coming in, it was all going right out the door. With the unique opportunity of being in every seat as a real estate investor, he found a calling in the company's finance seat to help businesses see where their money really went. David has helped real estate companies completely turn around from going out of business to building cash reserves by using the Profit First cash flow system. To help even more people, David wrote Profit First for Real Estate Investors, a derivative of the original Profit First by Mike Michalowicz that is tailored specifically to real estate investors. It is an honor to have him back on the show, so welcome David Richter. Celebrity in the house.
Good stuff. And this is great. You've got the best noises on podcasts. Like, I never get this stuff. So this is, I love this. I'm just going to come on your podcast all the time.
Please do. You are always welcome. So before we begin, I don't even know the answer to this question. Which came first, Simple CFO or Profit First?
I read the book Profit First, and it was part of one of the key foundations of Simple CFO. But I wrote Profit First after I had been working with my company, Simple CFO, and started it. So that was about a year into it that I wrote it.
Interesting. That just makes a lot more sense in my brain now. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, for sure.
So you are kind of a celebrity in my heart here, because you have just made a huge difference in so many people's lives by writing Profit First for real estate investors. Sorry, for real estate investing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Investing. Yeah. Okay. But you also have Simple CFO, and it's been an amazing experience being part of Simple CFO. And I want you to focus this podcast on that part of your business, and by helping real estate investors implement the Profit First systems, everything of the sort. But I want to go deep kind of quick, if that's okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
So in the book, it talks about making your business recession proof. And I know many real estate investors that are super struggling right now. Oh, hi, that's me. And not super struggling, but it is not the real estate business that it was 2 or 3 years ago. So how does one juggle everything? Why is it important to have a CFO when you already have like a bookkeeper or a CPA? So how is this going to help us through these tough times?
There's 2 different questions there, so I'll handle them one at a time. Let's talk about the recession proofing first. The people, and because we've gone through so many different things as a nation and as a country and as business owners over the last, decades and, the last century, especially I feel like in America here, who are the people that you still know in real estate today that went through 2008, 9, and that crash? A lot of them, their common denominator was they still had options during those times, and they could pivot during those times, where those are the 2 things that I feel like a lot of people miss out on when the going is good. When the going is good is when you start to stack the cash to be able to weather those bad times, because how you manage your business during the good times will determine how long you last in the bad times. And that's where you don't just go from, bad business owner that does a good business just because the market's helping you to, that. And it's like, we have to instill good habits. But then I will say, no one is taught how to be a good business owner during the good times. Like, a good business owner doesn't just run it and gun it and get the deals in, because that's what we all love to do as entrepreneurs. We are those people. We're the backbone of America. But if America is hurting, like as an economy, then it's also our responsibility on the other side to make sure we can get through that so we can still be the backbone. But no one lays it out. We don't get it in school. We don't get it taught in college. Like, we don't get it taught like in a job. That's where you already elevate yourself to business owner. That's a big personal development play, is becoming that business owner. Then it's another step of, I'm not just looking at myself as a real estate investor, but a business owner. And a lot of people just aren't taught the basics of business ownership. Like, how do you market? How do you sell? How do you build an operating department? How do you build your finances? Like, making sure we don't run out of money. That's same thing with us. We were in good times doing 25 deals a month, and it was good times. There was no recession happening, but we were spending more than we were making.
Right.
And if a recession would have come, we would have been not just, what happened there is the company blew apart, and like, we went across and started doing real estate in different areas. But if there was a recession that would have happened, we all would have gone down. Like, the owners and all the leadership team probably would have just had to start from scratch, versus the market was still carrying us. So that's why I'm like, it's so important. And that's why I created this company, Simple CFO. I didn't want to give people just their numbers, or just the books, or just their taxes, or like even helping them save on taxes, which is incredible and should happen. But it's like, I wanted to create a company that wasn't rear view mirror facing. That wasn't just, here's what's happened. It's, here's what is going to happen, or here's good habits to instill. That's why I liked Profit First. It was good habits around cash, where if I could give you some good habits and you could start stacking during good times, when the bad times come, you have that to lean on. And that's really the difference between a CPA, bookkeeper, and CFO, is the CPA and bookkeepers usually are rear view mirror facing. What's happened and like, give me that stuff, versus a CFO that's a GPS that says, here's where you are now. Here's where you want to get to. And here's the most efficient route, because you might know how to get there, but it might be like you went over a mountain when there was a tunnel right through the mountain. Like we could have taken you through the tunnel and saved you like 4 hours on your trip, and like you falling off the mountain a couple times. So it's like, I want to get you through it the most efficient way possible. So that way you get to your destination faster. And that's what I feel like as CFO. I did not just want to provide a bookkeeper. Most people, if they just have a bookkeeper CPA, don't know how to manage them, don't know if they're doing it right or wrong. And even if they are doing it right, the bookkeeper, what do I do with the numbers?
Right.
I know what to do. So it's like there's uncertainty all on the way because we're never taught that stuff. And it's not our strength. Our strength is, as entrepreneurs, the business building and the deal flow and the marketing, and that we shouldn't always be concerned about the money, but we have to have good systems in place so when bad times come, we don't have to worry about it. So those are a couple of the thoughts there of why I started this. And I'm glad throughout the years I have started this, because people have said, shouldn't you be a bookkeeping company and like you get more clients and like you could do, the CPA stuff. And I'm not opposed to having that in-house, but I like leading with the CFO because we need a financial leader to orchestrate it so you're not going backwards in an area where you already hate. It's like most entrepreneurs hate the financial department. And if they just get a bookkeeper and that bookkeeper screws things up, good luck. Like now you're going backwards in a place that you're not even that fond of. So there's a couple of it. I could be on my soapbox forever here. So I will stop talking so you can ask more questions.
Well, I just, in the intro, talked about you sat in every seat on the bus and you did the marketing for your company. And all real estate investors at least start out that way.
Yep.
And it's hard to really break away from that and see the importance of putting the right people in the right seats on that bus to propel your business to go even quicker.
Oh, yeah.
So I do love that you said that. And from firsthand experience, my Simple CFO, who I adore, is Diana, and she is the best of the best. And I'm just going to reinforce that it's forward looking. And you also talked about being in this business. People who survived 2008, 2009 learned to pivot. And that's what's also great about real estate, is because there's so many facets of it.
Yes.
And so Diana really pointed out to us something I love in my business is short-term rentals. And we had 5 at one point. We're down to just 1 right now, but it's still our little cash cow. And, for her to, we went into real estate investing because we watched all the HGTV shows and we're like, yes, we could flip houses and do this. And so that's all we really knew in the beginning was flipping houses. And then waiting for that paycheck to come is super, super scary. So right now with the way interest rates are, it's taking longer and longer. But anyway, I'm long a roundabout way to my point here is it is worth the investment, because right now times are tough for many real estate investors out there. They haven't planned ahead and they didn't go through 2008 and all that. And so now they're kind of struggling, but sell me on why it's important to invest in something like Simple CFO, because it does cost money. I mean, let's be realistic here, but why making that investment is going to propel you even quicker to get out of this situation.
I feel like so many people make investments where they hope that that's the answer, where let's just spend money on this marketing campaign, or like, let's try this person out, or like, let's do this thing, see if it works. What I want people to start investing in is things that they know have a high chance of working, where most people are, it's like, you better just go to the casino. You're going to have better chances there than what you're doing right now, where it's the hope and pray plan. I hope this works out. I pray that something's left over, after I do this flip or whatever. And an investment in a CFO, especially a CFO, because a CFO is a leader on the team. It's a couple different ways you get a return. One is the practical dollars and cents of, is there waste in the business? Let's attack that first, because any waste goes right to your bottom line. Okay, are there opportunities in the business, or are there pivots to make? Like, you're making money here, but you're not making it over here, but you're focused on the thing that's not making money. So why don't we focus on the money maker? It's being able to see the future, like you said, and be able to plot that course. So there's an immediate return there. But then I would also say, why would you invest in something like this versus like, I just need to go and find that deal or whatever? It's also an investment in you as a CEO. Most of us have small businesses. We're entrepreneurs and solopreneurs. But if you start to hire people, that is a CEO position now that you're elevating yourself to. And if you're going to start hiring, if you're going to start making decisions around people, like you were saying, of getting them on the bus, we need to know that it's a good investment. So having a CFO there helps you to have that balance of, I want to spend the money and I want to invest in this people or these processes, this marketing campaign or whatever, and knowing, okay, what's my risk? Or what is my reward? Like, if this does pay off, what is the outcome? And that's where a lot of people might think, well, no, I just need to do the deals. And you do. You need to keep revenue in first position. If you're not spending money on marketing, you shouldn't be spending money on the other areas. Like, you need to make sure deals are coming in the door, and you need to make sure revenue is there. But like, the yin to that yang is making sure, if you're going to work your butt off to get deals in the door, that you have a system or a person making sure that the money is staying in the door. Like, so that way you're not just running and gunning it and being like, what the heck happened to all my money? Yeah. And I like to say, a lot of entrepreneurs make money but feel broke. And that's where an investment in a CFO is to get out of that rat race. And so there you go. There's a couple of the thoughts on that.
You hit a nerve there.
Yes.
That one.
Yes. I usually do with entrepreneurs, because that's one of the biggest things I hear. It's just in different wording, but I've just boiled it down to that. Oh, so you make money but feel broke. Okay.
Yes.
Like, we can work with this. Like, let's get out of this, because it's not all about the dollars and cents too. Even though a lot of it is, some of it is the way that we handle those dollars and cents and the way we think about it. And that's where no one, like I said, no one gets this training anywhere. Like, why did I like Profit First? It's because it put it in a simple manner, at least for cash. And then a CFO should put other things in simple terms too. Like, let me tell you what your profit and loss means. Let me tell you what this balance sheet means. And like, okay, let's look at your Airbnbs and like, let's make sure you have some cash coming. It's being that practical side of, I want to run the business like a business owner. And no one got into the business to make money and feel broke and like just have it be a cash eating monster. And that's where I feel like so many people have come to us where they're just at their last, like, oh, what the heck do I do?
Right.
And I love The Count of Monte Cristo, that movie. And I just started reading the book, which the book is like 995 pages. I'm like, the movie's like 2 hours or less. I'm like, this is nuts, but whatever. I digress there. But a lot of entrepreneurs are like the Count of Monte Cristo before he becomes the Count. They're like Edmond Dantes, the guy who is taken to prison, but he has no idea why. And it's like, people feel stuck, like they're in prison in their business, but they don't know why. And I remember reading in the book, he said, it would be better for me to know a guilty verdict than it is to sit here in uncertainty. And that's where business owners, a lot of them feel trapped. Like, I'm in prison and I don't know if I'm guilty or innocent. Like, can someone just show me if I'm on the right or wrong track so I can switch tracks if I'm off track? And that's where someone has to come by the hand. And in that story, it's the Abbé Faria, like the other guy that's in the prison with him, teaches him to become, this superhuman almost in the way that he thinks and that he acts. So when he's out of prison, and he also gets a ton of money too. It's like, here's pointing you in the direction of, getting where you want it to go. That's really what I want the CFO to be, is being able to be that guide. Because if you're in that prison, it's like, it might not be your fault. You're there because we're not taught, and because the school systems do not teach a lot of this information. And it's like, we just want to be your guide out of there. Now, we don't want to die in the process, and you put us in, take us out of the sack, and then you get thrown into the water, instead of us. So like the movie was, but I want to be able to make sure you have that guide once you're out of prison too. Like, that you have them as that person that's keeping you from where you were originally. So that's really what I'm trying to do. And then when I was reading that book, I'm like, that is so much like what our clients feel, and what honestly a lot of entrepreneurs feel, is that I'm stuck in here I don't even know if I'm guilty or innocent. And like, I have no idea what's going on. So that was a good word picture for me when I read that. I'm like, so many people go through this all the time and there's a way out.
Absolutely. And thanks for giving me flashbacks to 8th grade of trying to avoid having to read The Count of Monte Cristo.
Nice.
That was a thick book. Great. That was crazy. So, so back to Simple CFO. Can you explain what the hell is a fractional CFO? What does that mean, fractional CFO?
I love this question. Well, number one, CFO, if people don't know what that stands for, is Chief Financial Officer. So if you're the CEO of your company, even if you're a solopreneur, you're the Chief Executive Officer. So it's like you're the one that's in charge. The CFO is in charge of the financial department. Most people do never get access to a CFO because they don't become a 10, 20, 50, $100 million business where the CFO is paid $200,000-$300,000 a year full time to look at this stuff for you. But I wanted to create a company where people had access to a high level financial leader like that, but that their company could afford. It's an affordable option. So it's when it says fractional, that's a fraction of the investment on your part of a full-time CFO and a fraction of your time. Like, this is not a person that's going to be a full-time person that you have to manage constantly. It's someone that should be proactive, coming to you saying, here's what's going on. That saves you time. So it's a fraction of the cost to you and a fraction of your time for a person that's a high-level leader leading you to where you want to go. Because honestly, let's be very honest here. At the core of it, the real issue is not the bookkeeping. The real issue is not the numbers. The real issue is not the cash flow or the money. Those are all symptoms. The symptoms of they are in your way of getting to where you really want to go as a business owner. You want freedom. You want to buy as many deals as you want and do all the things you want to do without having to worry about the money and the financial side. That's why I wanted to give access to a fractional CFO or a part-time financial leader, because it gives you that yin to your yang, like I was talking about. You need to be out there getting the deals in the door or building the business, finding the right people on the team. And then you need to not worry about the money. That's what a fractional CFO is.
Well, in addition to an outstanding book of Profit First for real estate investing, there's the book Who Not How. And that
I love that one.
Also pushed us more towards going to, let me back up a little bit.
Yeah.
My husband is an accountant. So I am one of those where I'm lucky I have a numbers person already on my team. But we needed that next level. And by hiring, and I love how you kind of staged that, because we are running a business. We're running multiple businesses. And that was also many real estate investors. You have your flipping LLC, you have your rental portfolio LLC, you maybe have a coaching LLC, you have, we own a construction company, we also own an agency for real estate agents. And so the missing piece of our puzzle was the CFO position, even though I will share, we have offices in our house and it does say Vance Josie CFO on his door. And mine says Jen Josie HBIC. Do you know what HBIC stands for?
Tell me, because I would have to think.
You're such a nice gentleman. It means head bitch in charge.
Oh, yes. Now I've heard of it, but yes, it would have taken me a while to come back to that.
I'm the head bitch in charge.
Thank you. There you go. I would not call you that, but I'm sure he does.
I know you wouldn't. You're a very polite gentleman. So.
Did Vance buy that for you? I'm just kidding.
No, I did.
No, you did.
Of course I did. Just a reminder of who's in charge in this relationship here. But that missing piece, going back to it, and Diana, it was also, because that is another thing for real estate investors, is having the multiple businesses and then meshing them together and doing all that. And it was the missing piece to our puzzle. And it's really, that's why I just look at you like you're a celebrity, because you help so many people in this. And it is such an important tool and part of your business and the forward projection. So I've said enough about that. I adore Simple CFO, and I just adore you. For the listeners out there who have been living under a rock and have not read Profit First for Real Estate Investing yet, can you tell us why it is important to have a cash flow management system. Can we just touch on that just for a hot minute? Maybe
Let's do
talk
it.
about how many bank accounts we're supposed to have, all that fun stuff.
Oh man, and probably since the last time you heard me, I've even updated a little bit of my way of thinking here because I wanted to make it even simpler. Because I think I need to rewrite my Profit First book. I think I made it even too complicated in there. But as simple as it is, here we go. Profit First and cash flow management. What do most people do? Because we've been talking about it, that we're not taught this stuff. So how do people manage their personal finances, let alone the business finances? It's usually chaos. Or if they have it in their personal finances, which is order, sometimes that doesn't translate over to business. So you get into business, and like most people, how do we manage our cash? With one big bank account. All the money comes in and goes out. It's a black hole account. It's a swirling vortex of doom. Like it comes in and like, where the heck did it all go? And that's how most of us manage money. The other way is, do I have money? I'll spend it. Do I not have money? I probably shouldn't spend money today. Or like, if I do, what loan can I get? So it's like, that's where a lot of us live in the management of the money and the dollars and cents. We're not intentional with every dollar that comes through our fingers. What Profit First and what any cash flow system out there is going to help you do is be intentional with the dollars. Because there's a difference. There's a huge difference between a profit and loss and a balance sheet and those reports and what they say versus the cash that's physically in your bank accounts. And you as a business owner, I believe you as a business owner, what you need to know, you don't even need to know all that stuff, the profit and loss balance sheet. That's good to start to learn, and you should learn them eventually. But when you first start out, if you know nothing about finances, the first thing is 3 numbers. What I make, what I spend, and what I keep. What comes in, what goes out, what do I get to keep from the business? So I make sure that I'm building a profitable business. And when I say keep, what puts food on my table? And like, is there fun money too? Like, is there fun money that like, why did I start this frickin' business? It's because of X, Y, and Z, because I want to travel or I want to do the things. It's like, that's where your keep comes into play. And I like to tell people now, like I wrote in the book, because there's the profit account, there's the, owner's comp and all that. I boiled it down to just 3 accounts: make, spend, and keep. Like, and you can have sub accounts of those, but I want you to just know, what do you make, spend, and keep? So I literally have started naming those for people of just, can I get an account for you that here's what you make? Like, have all the money funneled into here of your deposits. Here's what comes in. OPEX, same thing. If you have an OPEX account or operational expenses, that's your spend. But that's what I tell people: a spend account and then a keep account. Like, what do you transfer into there that you don't touch to grow your business, but you touch it for yourself, like to eat the food at your table, or to be able to go out there and buy a car or do what you want to do with your money. And where I get into the weeds a little bit more is, do you want to have separate like sub accounts of those? Like for the keep account, it might be need and want. Like, what puts food on my table on a weekly basis? And then what do I want? That's kind of the big overarching, why did I start my business? So you can get more in depth if you want to, but I just start with keep it simple, because these are the 3 numbers you need to know as a business owner. What do I make, spend, and keep? And having physical bank accounts gives you the visual opportunity as an entrepreneur, because we're very visual, to see where the money is sectioned off. That's where on the spend, you might have an account there for like, hey, this is for marketing, advertising, or whatever, because I know deals need to come in the door. Or you might have, here's one for taxes. I know I'm going to have taxes on a quarterly or annual basis. That's a huge one. I don't like putting that in the keep bucket. That's not a fun account to me. It's the tax account. I might want to punt it to a different bank so that way I don't look at it, but that's one of my spend. Like, I have to give that to the IRS. So it's like, that's a part of the spend account. It might give me huge peace of mind to know that I have the money there, but it's like, I'm not keeping that money. Someone else is taking it from me. So it's like, that's part of the spend, but it needs to be sectioned off, as like, hey, if I'm going to do deals, and especially active deals, I need to have money there for the taxes. But I like to say, come back to, is it a part of the make, spend, and keep framework? What am I making? What am I spending? What am I keeping? And are those on track? That's where, if you're in that, you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm making money feeling broke, or you're feeling in that prison environment type thing of like, I have no idea what my verdict is. That helps you gain that clarity. It helps you gain the clarity of, are we not making enough? Because like obviously not enough is coming in for me to even move this money. Or is it like we're not spending in the right places, or we're spending too much? And then are we keeping anything, or are we just running on fumes? Because that is more of a psychological issue too. If you don't have enough in the keep, then it's like, oh, dang it. Like, what are we going to do? Can we go out to dinner next week? It's like, right. That's the types of things that we live on a daily basis. And just people need a simple system like that, because managing the cash by one big bank account and like, I have lots of money today, woohoo, I don't have lots of money tomorrow, like, oh boy, what's going to happen, is not the healthiest manner. It is literally, like I was saying, where a GPS might take you through the tunnel versus you trying to trek over the mountain with your car and you falling off a couple times. It's like, I want to give you that clear path so that way you get to where you want to go as fast as possible. And that's where I feel like a cash flow system like that puts it on the bottom shelf for people.
Huge. And I like that you talk about having to put like the tax account in a different bank. So I have 2 accounts at a bank that I never even go to. And that's where I drop, the taxes in here. And then I have my want over there as well. So
good.
Kind of like, just so I
don't touch it. It's extra discipline.
Exactly. But one account you didn't touch on that that we implemented that has been a huge help is the OPM account.
Oh, yeah.
So do you want to touch on the OPM account?
Yeah, the ones I was just talking about were to run the business.
Yes.
So keep, make, spend, and keep by itself. Like, just think of those as like, these are the accounts, and any sub accounts under that are to run the business and to make sure it's operational. So there's income, there's expenses, and there's what I get to keep. Over on the other side, OPM is if you're in the real estate world, especially if you're like Jen and you're doing like 15 different things and you get private money, or you get any type of money that's sent to you directly, I would set up an account called OPM, other people's money, so you can manage your rehabs or repairs or like anything that comes in with that money, and you don't mingle it with your make, spend, and keep accounts. The make, spend, and keep are to run the business. OPM is to run the projects and to make sure that those happen. Now, I want you as a business owner I want you to treat their money just like if you set up a system like you would treat yours. And so you know exactly where it is. You're intentional with their dollars now versus what a lot of people do. Like, it goes back to that black hole account. Yep. They mingle it together.
Yep.
And it's now you've got this huge bank account and you feel really good because you just got like multiple 6 figures from maybe one private lender for multiple deals. And like, yes, I've hit 7 figures. And like 99% of that isn't yours. It's like, whoa there. Like, yes. You're going to run out of your rehab money if you just start dipping into that to run your business. So it's having that visual separation of make, spend, keep. What do I run my business with versus OPM? What's other people's money, and what do I run the rehab projects with?
So well said. And again, I need that structure. And I want to give one more shout out to Diana, who I just adore. So
she's amazing.
She is amazing. Also from Florida.
Yes.
Do you remember the first time I met her? I'm like, oh
my gosh,
I know we aren't going to bring it up.
Yes, I still laugh about that with her. We might have said that on the first podcast, so go listen to our first podcast together if you're listening to us right now. Oh, man.
Very inappropriate. Anyway,
yes.
But I love her. So one thing for her, I called her the Vance Whisperer because my husband is Vance, and he speaks finance. The 2 of them were like 2 peas in a pod, and he really loved the insight that she gave, but she translated for me. So she would then turn around and come back to me. So if anyone out there is in a business with someone who may be a financial expert of some sort, and Simple CFO, what it's done for us is it's really made me understand, because it's very easy to go, oh, he's an accountant, just let him take care of all the finance stuff. But I'm a coach. So for me to be better at what I do, I need to understand all aspects of, I need to know all seats on the bus, including that finance seat, which is very scary to me. It doesn't come with a seatbelt, by the way. Did you know that? So, so Just one more shout out to Simple CFO is that it's great clarity for anyone on your team to have that translator between the two, because Vance, it makes sense in his head, but him explaining to me how things work, I'm not a numbers person. I'm the mouth, I'm the HBIC. And, I'm one of those where go, and I need him to reel me in at times. So I just want to give a shout out to Diana for being fabulous for that. So thank you for everything that you do. I want to move to the second part of the podcast here, which is
let's do it.
What makes David Richter a badass? And I use the acronym BADASS, and the first letter is B for book. What's a book that's made a huge difference in your life?
Besides Profit First and besides, like what we talked about here. And I would say another big book is The Road Less Stupid by Keith Cunningham. Learning how to ask questions versus just always having the answer.
So good. And I ordered that after because we hung out in Lakeland, Florida, at one of Tarek's events.
Yes, we did. That was fun.
I ordered that book immediately. So thank you for that. The first A in BADASS is for advice. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Best. That's a hard one. That's a tricky one.
You've given us such great advice.
Right. I've given it all on the other stuff, but I would say don't give up on yourself. Like the self-worth thing is a big thing. If you're not feeling good about yourself, you're not feeling good about anything in your life. So keeping the mindset of like healthy and getting the people around you. I'm a big Brene Brown fan too. It's like getting your community of people where if you're down in the dumps, like reaching out and, not sitting there because then nothing's moving forward. Nothing in your life. So there you go. There's some more recent stuff over the last couple of years.
That Brene Brown, I just love her. She is wonderful.
Yeah, she's great.
Oh my goodness. All right. The D in BADASS is for drive. What drives David to be successful?
Got a big overarching goal at Simple CFO. Want to give $1 million away to charities by our 10-year anniversary. We are coming up on year 5 and we're on track for that. So I'm really excited about that. That's why I started it. Like I didn't start it to be this big money making machine. It was like, I wanted to give a lot because I don't live in this fancy house, drive the fancy cars or anything. There's a lot of things that I love in my life and a lot of people, honestly, that have poured into me. So it's the giving back aspect that drives me a lot.
I love that. And some of the charities you all donate to is the Operation Underground Railroad. So great. Christian Media International, Backpack for Kids. That is such a good one as a former teacher. So thank you for that one. Fundamental Baptist if I could speak, Missions International, and Wounded Warrior.
Share the love. We get to share the love too. Augie Bylot. I don't know if you know him from Florida. He donates wheelchairs across the world to people that need them. And I've gone a couple of those distributions. And that's another one if you're listening to potentially look up. I love it. It's Share the Love.
That is excellent. And that's a great name too. Share the Love.
Yes.
So thank you. And thank you for letting us
yeah, for sure.
share that on here. So, all right. The second A in BADASS is aspiration. I'm a big goal setter. So what is a goal you are currently working on?
Working on. We are looking to grow the business by another 50% this year. So that's a business goal because as people come in, we want to give them that clarity. And we see that, those transformations have lots of personal goals too, like just making sure that my wife and I, goals in the personal life, like don't just have the goals for business, making sure that it's well-rounded out for who I want to be, because I'm not just business owner. I'm husband, father, Christian. I'm lots of things that I like to take on as the moniker. So having goals in all those different areas too.
So good. And by the way, let's take a quick second here. How do people find Simple CFO? Because we just bolted right into the second part of the podcast here because it's such a part of my life. So, but for the listeners who are very curious, how do they get their own CFO, their own Diana?
Yeah. If you go to simplecfo.com, you can find it there, or if you go to /gift. So if you go to simplecfo.com, you can book a call there. But if you go to the gift page, you can also download my book. I give my book there, like Profit First for Real Estate Investing, the ebook, audiobook. If you want the print book, go to Amazon. But if you want those two versions, I give it because, like I said, no one's teaching it. So I can at least give you the foundation, and then you can book a call right there as well too. There's a book a call link if you want to get a CFO in your life to get you to where you want to go financially.
And do it, people. All right. The first S in badass is for systems. What systems do you have in place to help you achieve success?
We, in the business, I think it's very important that you have an operating system. We run off of Traction and the EOS model, which is the book Traction by Gino Wickman. And I started that day one. It was me and a virtual assistant, and we were holding level 10 meetings on a weekly basis because as we've grown, now I have department meetings and, a level 10 with 6 leaders now. It's like you have to make sure you build the systems in place even on the way up. You might not do the full system at the beginning, but have a system so that way you're not just running and gunning it and never becoming a true business with that. And a business runs on systems.
Very good. All right. The final S in badass to wrap this up is success. What does success mean to David Richter?
Oh, just that I feel good about what I've done. Like, whatever it might be, if it's the business or if it's with my family, or like just that I've done the best that I can do, and making sure that we're moving forward, that we're going to fall, we're going to stumble, we're going to make failures and that type of stuff, that we just constantly keep moving the ball forward. That's what it is to me. If I achieve the goals, if I don't, that's not success. It's, do I feel good about myself along the way?
Well, I feel good about having you in my life, David. So I do truly appreciate that. And listeners, if you are living under a rock and have not ordered this book yet, go out to Amazon. I like the print copies because I like to mark them up.
Yeah.
It's Profit First for Real Estate Investing by David Richter. Or if you are ready and to take your business to the next level, check out simplecfo.com and at least get a call, see what it's all about, connect with his people. He's got some amazing people on his team. And yes, you do great things. David, I appreciate everything that you do. Thank you again for coming on the show today. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Jen. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. And that is all. Thank you for listening. We will catch you on the next episode. Now go out there and share your badassery. And don't forget, make it a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. Whoop, whoop.
Thank you for listening to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. If you need more badassery, you can follow Jen Josie by visiting therealjenjosie.com or become a member of RAIN by registering on rainmastermind.com.